In a recent review of the Miss Grape Il Coso handlebar cradle, a few readers expressed dissatisfaction with the absence of a 35mm handlebar clamp option. This feedback kind of sparked our curiosity. Just how many cyclists are utilizing handlebars with the newer 35mm clamp area diameter? And how does it compare to other sizes on the market? So to gather insights, well, we did a survey to determine the prevailing stem sizes among cyclists. So after receiving almost 1,300 submissions, we uncovered some interesting results. So in this video, we're going to reveal those findings and delve into 5 of the most popular stem clamp diameters. Let's do it. So before we begin, I'd just like to let everybody know that this video is partially supported by Salsa Cycles. Salsa is adventure by bike. Salsa offers a range of mountain bikes, gravel bikes, all-road bikes, and fat tire bikes, all thoughtfully designed to enrich and enhance your cycling experiences. Salsa truly understands the transformative power of adventure by bike. So to discover more about their products and bikes, you can visit salsacycles.com. Hit this card right here. I began cycling with more deliberate focus during, well, the era of the 31.8mm stem clamp diameter, which is more recently. But my cycling journey has its own origins on the Schwinn XS BMX bike, which was equipped with a 22.2 diameter threadless stem. Now that's not saying too much because, well, BMX bikes, they traditionally still come with 22.2mm diameter threadless stems. But the point here is, in my younger days, I didn't much pay attention to what was on my bike and how it actually handled. However, as I dive deeper into cycling with a purpose, experimenting with different bikes and handlebars and attaching various accessories to the bicycle, I've started to appreciate the evolution of the handlebar a little bit more. Let's take a step back in time to the early 1990s when John Rader, who was dissatisfied with the threaded headset of that era, embarked on a mission to create something a little bit better. So while threaded headsets and quill stem combinations remained a standard for road bikes until the late 90s, many mid-90s mountain bikes featured Rader's innovative threadless alternative. This alternative employed a clamp-on system incorporating stackable spacers and a top cap for adjusting barrel preload. So while quill stems offer greater height adjustability, particularly once you actually cut your fork steer with the threadless system, the threadless design brought about significant improvements. It simplified the stem installation, increased adjustability, reduced overall bike weight, and as a result, gave rise to a wide array of stem designs and stem clamp diameters. And that brings us to where we are today, a slightly more complicated situation where we have clamp diameters ranging from 22.2mm to 35mm. All right, so let's dive into the 5 most common clamp diameters. All right, so since the 22.2mm clamp diameter is the same as the grip area on all mountain bike handlebars to this day, the 22.2 stem clamp diameter affords the simplest form of handlebar construction. So these bars are made from straight gauge tubing, which is far easier to make and shape. Bars are simply cut and bent to achieve rise and sweep, as opposed to tapered handlebar designs that are certainly a little bit more complex. Of course, tapered bars are more stiff than 22.2mm bars. Even so, they're commonly used on BMX style handlebars today, which also utilize a crossbar to kind of create increased stiffness there. That being said, there are a lot of smaller builders still using straight 7/8 or 22.2 tubing for mountain bike handlebars, such as this Doom bar you see here. During the early 20th century, there were attempts to introduce a level of standardization within the bike industry. Wow, go figure, we still haven't figured that out. Anyways, in the mid-20th century, the industry ultimately converged on a set of primary sizes. So among these, the most widely adopted standard was the ISO 25.4mm clamp diameter. Particularly for those road and city bikes, These larger diameters were chosen for their enhanced stiffness and strength, qualities that made them actually well suited for harsh rides on rough terrain, and were subsequently embraced in the construction of mountain bikes. And if you peruse the alt bar option at websites such as Rivendell Bicycle Works or Velo Orange, you'll find plenty of 25.4 options. So as technology evolved and bicycle disciplines diversified, so did stem clamp diameters. Road bikes, for instance, saw a shift towards a larger clamp diameter, such as 26 millimeters, which became the Italian standard. This obviously seems backwards, but not everything has to make sense. Yeah. So as bicycles evolved, there was a growing demand for, you guessed it, a stiffer and more robust handlebar stem assembly. The larger 31.8 millimeter clamp diameter was introduced in the late 90s and early 2000s to address these demands and provide greater stiffness, control, and compatibility with modern handlebar designs. And while I can't pinpoint who invented the 31.8 standard, it was certainly rapidly accepted in the bike industry. If anyone knows, leave it in the comment section below. Well, one perspective certainly suggests that transitioning from the 25.4 to 31.8 millimeter clamp diameter was driven by a desire to stimulate consumer spending. There is a strong counter argument that this change was a necessary response to the trend of wider handlebars. Many argue that the larger diameter significantly enhances stiffness and durability, rendering them better suited for challenging off-road terrain. As a result, the widespread adoption of the 31.8 millimeter interface spurred a broad array of stem and handlebar choices from various manufacturers during the 2000s. I can see clearly now. As mountain bike handlebars widened even more, companies recognized the need for a larger diameter. In 2012, Easton introduced the 35 millimeter clamp diameter to accommodate wider handlebars, especially for, say, those higher load applications like downhill mountain biking. Many other companies adopted this size, and it has since become the standard for modern trail bikes in recent years. While some may certainly view the 35 millimeter handlebar diameter as potentially excessive, some people at BIKEPACKING.com, me not included, the advantages in terms of stiffness and durability present a compelling case, particularly when considering carbon bars, a prevalent choice for contemporary mountain bikes. I've switched to 35 millimeter bars on all of my mountain bikes after encountering noticeable flex issues with the wider 31.8 millimeter bars, particularly those 800 millimeter bars. All right, so as far as results, it's evident that many of you have the same preference for stem clamp size. In fact, a whopping 82% of respondents indicated that they use a 31.8 millimeter diameter. Notably, this size is more than just popular for mountain bikes, it's also widely used for modern drop bars. Coming in second place was that 35 millimeter diameter with a significant drop in use at 8.4%. However, we expect this to increase in numbers since so many new mountain bikes now come equipped with 35 millimeter bars and stems. The 25.4 millimeter clamp was in third place, receiving 5.2% of the votes, followed by 22.2 millimeter clamp at 2.7%, and finally that 26 millimeter clamp diameter at 1.7% of the vote. All right, so now we'd love to hear from you all. What's your preferred stem clamp size, and what factors kind of influence that choice? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video and want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and consider joining the Bikepacking Collective. Support from our members helps sustain this channel and everything we do here at BIKEPACKING.com. The Collective has a lot of awesome perks, including monthly giveaways, and obviously the twice annual Bikepacking Journal. So for more details, click on the card in the top right corner or find the link below. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, pedal further.